Hi, my friend. Welcome to Glow and Grow channel. A place where you don't just learn English, but also learn how to grow, step by step, in a simple and real way. I'm really glad you're here today. Let me share something that happened to me recently. A few days ago, I was talking to one of my students in our English community. She was speaking more confidently than before, using simple sentences, but very naturally. After the session, I told her, "You've improved a lot." And she smiled and said something interesting. She said, "I think I'm just lucky. Recently, I feel like English is easier for me." That sentence stayed in my mind for a long time, because I remembered her first days. She was quiet. She was shy. She didn't want to speak. But she kept showing up. She practiced a little every day. She didn't stop, even when it felt slow. So I asked myself, is that really luck? Or is that something else? And that's when I realized something very simple, but very important. What we often call luck is actually the moment when effort and patience finally meet the right time. And today, I want to talk about that with you. Not luck as something random, but luck as something you can slowly build, step by step, starting from where you are. Let's start with something very honest. From the outside, success often looks like luck. You see someone speaking English well, and you think, they are lucky. You see someone doing well in their work, and you think, they got a good chance. But what you don't see is the time, the effort, and the patience behind it. Let me share a simple story. As an English teacher, I meet many learners. Some improve very fast, and some feel stuck for a long time. And many people say they are lucky, they learn fast. But when I look closer, I see something different. The people who improve are not always the smartest. They are the ones who show up again and again. They practice even when they feel tired. They continue even when they don't see results right away. At first, nothing special happens. Their progress is slow. Sometimes, it even feels like nothing is changing. But they keep going. Day by day, step by step. And then, one day, something shifts. They start to speak more naturally. They understand more. They feel more confident. And from the outside, it looks like luck. But it's not. It's the result of many small actions, repeated over time. Let me give you a simple image. Imagine you plant a seed. On the first day, you see nothing. On the second day, still nothing. After 1 week, nothing changes. If you stop there, you may think, this doesn't work. But if you keep watering it every day, one day, the plant starts to grow. Was that luck, or was it patience? Your life works the same way. Your skills, your confidence, your results. They all need time. But here is the problem. Most people don't want to wait. They want fast results. They want to see change quickly. And when it doesn't happen, they stop. They say, maybe this is not for me. And this is where they miss their chance. Not because they are not capable, but because they stop too early. Luck often comes at the moment when many people have already given up. I've seen this many times. Some learners join our English community, and at the beginning, they are very excited. They practice, they try, they show up. But after a few weeks, when they don't see big results, they slowly disappear. But the ones who stay, even when it feels slow, even when it feels hard, are the ones who improve. Not in one day, not in 1 week, but over time. And then one day, an opportunity comes. Maybe a chance to speak, to work, or to grow. And they are ready. That moment looks like luck. But the truth is, they were preparing for it all along. So here is something very important. Luck is not something you wait for. It is something you prepare for. You don't control when the opportunity comes. But you can control if you are ready when it comes. And the way to be ready is simple. Work a little every day. Stay patient. Don't stop just because it feels slow. If you are learning English, don't wait until you feel ready to speak. Practice a little every day. Listen, speak, repeat. Even when it feels small, it is building something inside you. If you want to change your life, don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now with what you have. Keep going, even when it feels quiet and slow. Because one day, your time will come, and when it comes, you will be ready. Let me say this again in a simple way. Hard work builds your skill. Patience keeps you going. And when the right moment comes, people will call it luck. But you will know the truth. So today, don't ask, why am I not lucky? Ask, what can I do today to prepare for my moment? Maybe it's 1 hour of learning. Maybe it's one small step. Maybe it's just showing up again. That's enough. Because your moment is coming. You just need to stay long enough to meet it. Before we end, I want to ask you one simple question. Are you willing to keep going, even when you don't see results yet? Thank you so much for being here and spending this time with me. It really means a lot. If this message stayed with you, you can always come back and listen again whenever you need it. Keep going, be patient, and I'll see you in the next episode. I'm really glad you're here today. Let me ask you something. What if your biggest enemy is not someone out there, but the voice inside your head that tells you to stop, to wait, to give up? Let me tell you something honestly. The biggest enemy in your life is not outside. It's inside. It's you. Not the good version of you, but the part that feels lazy, the part that wants to give up, the part that says, I'll do it later, or I'm not good enough. That is the real battle you face every day. Because here is the truth. You don't need to beat anyone else. You don't need to be better than everyone. There will always be someone smarter, richer, or more talented than you. That race never ends. And if you keep chasing it, you will always feel tired and behind. But there is one race that really matters. The race with yourself. Inside every person, there are two sides. One side wants to grow, wants to learn, wants to become better. The other side wants to stay comfortable, stay safe, and avoid effort. That second side is very strong. It speaks to you every day. It says, this is too hard, let's do it tomorrow, You can rest now. You don't need to try so much. And slowly, without realizing it, you start to listen to that voice. You delay your work. You skip your practice. You spend more time on your phone. You compare yourself to others and feel bad. These feelings are very normal. Laziness, procrastination, fear, and comparison are part of being human. You are not weak because you feel this way. But if you want to grow, you cannot let these feelings control your life. Let's take a simple example. You want to learn English. You know it is important. You know it can change your life. But when it's time to practice, your mind says you are tired. You can do it tomorrow. You need more time first. Tomorrow comes, and the same thing happens again. Days pass, but nothing really changes. Now imagine a different choice. You still feel tired. You still don't want to do it, but you tell yourself just one sentence today. Just one small action. You open your mouth and speak. It is not perfect, but it is real. That small moment is very important. That is the moment you win against yourself. Winning yourself does not mean doing something big. It means choosing the better action, even when it feels uncomfortable. It means doing what you said you would do, even when you don't feel like it. Every time you want to stay in bed, but you get up, you win. Every time you want to scroll your phone, but you choose to study, you win. Every time you feel jealous of someone else, but you focus on your own progress, you win. These wins are small, but they are powerful. Because your life is built from these small choices, repeated every day. Now let's talk about comparison. This is something that makes many people feel stuck. You look at someone who speaks English better than you, and you feel behind. You see someone more successful, and you feel like you are not enough. But here is the problem. When you compare yourself to others, you are looking at a different path. You don't see their full journey. You don't see how long they have been learning, how many times they failed, how many hours they practiced. And more importantly, their path is not your path. If you keep looking at others, you lose focus on yourself. You forget your own progress. You forget how far you have come. So instead of comparing, look at yourself. Look at yesterday. Yesterday, you may not have tried. Today, you try a little. That is progress. Yesterday, you may have given up. Today, you continue. That is progress. You don't need to be the best. You just need to be better than your past self. Let me say this clearly, because it is the most important idea today. You don't need to win against anyone else. But you must win against your old habits. You must win against procrastination. You must win against fear, doubt, and the habit of comparing yourself to others. You must win against the voice in your head that says, "Not today." You must win against the comfort of staying the same when you know you can grow. You must win against the small excuses that quietly steal your time every day. Because if you can do that, no one can stop your growth. Think about it like this. Your life is not a competition. It is a direction. As long as you are moving forward, even slowly, you are already winning. And something will start to change when you focus on yourself. You will feel calmer. You will feel more in control. You will stop feeling like you are behind, because you are finally moving on your own path. Over time, you will build something strong inside you. discipline, confidence, and self-respect. Not because someone gives it to you, but because you earn it through your actions, step by step. So today, don't ask how to be better than others. Ask a better question. How can I be better than yesterday? Maybe it is one small step, one sentence, one action, one good choice. That is enough. Because the person you need to become is not someone else. It is a better version of you. Before we end, I want to ask you one simple question. What is one small thing you can do today to win against yourself? Thank you for staying with me until the end. I truly appreciate your time today. If there is one thing I hope you remember, it's this. You don't need to be better than anyone else. You just need to be a little better than the person you were yesterday. So after this, don't try to change everything. Just make one small choice, one better action, and then keep going. Because at the end of the day, the real victory is simple. Not winning over others, but not losing to yourself. Take care, and I'll see you again soon. Today, I'm genuinely happy. Because this morning, I received a message from someone who has been quietly listening to this podcast for a while. And they told me that recently, for the first time, they were able to speak English with confidence. Without overthinking every word, without being afraid of making mistakes. What touched me the most is that nothing about them suddenly became perfect. Their vocabulary didn't magically double. Their grammar wasn't flawless. But something deeper changed. They started to trust themselves. And it made me realize something powerful. Sometimes, the biggest shift in your life doesn't come from learning more. It comes from finally believing that you already have what it takes. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Trust your potential. Let me ask you something simple. Have you ever felt like you could do more, but you don't really believe it yet? Like there is something inside you, but you're not sure if it's enough? If that sounds like you, you're not alone. And today, we're going to talk about how to trust your potential in a way that feels real, simple, and possible for you to start right away. There's a famous quote that says, "Believe you can, and you're halfway there." It sounds simple, but for many people, this is the hardest part. Because how can you believe in something you haven't seen yet? How can you trust your potential when your results are still small or not clear? Let's be honest. Most of the time, you don't trust your potential because you focus on what you cannot do. You see your mistakes. You see your limits. You compare yourself to others who are better, faster, more confident. And slowly, your mind tells you, maybe I'm not good at this, or maybe this is not for me. I see this a lot as an English teacher. Many learners come to me and say, I can't speak English. But when I talk to them, they can understand me. They can answer simple questions. Maybe not perfectly, maybe slowly, but they can. So the truth is, they are not starting from zero. They already have something, but they don't trust it. And I understand that feeling. Because I used to feel the same. There was a time when I wanted to create more content, share more ideas, and speak more confidently. But every time I tried, I focused on what was not good enough. My voice, my words, my mistakes. So I stopped, not because I didn't have potential, but because I didn't trust it. Then one day, I changed something small. I stopped asking, Am I good enough? And I started asking, what can I do with what I have right now? That one question changed everything. So today, I want to give you a very simple way to start trusting your potential. Not by thinking more, but by doing small, clear actions that you can apply right after this. First, see what you can already do, right now. Not in the future. Maybe you can understand basic English. Maybe you can say a few sentences. Maybe you can write something simple. Don't ignore that. That is your starting point, and starting points are powerful. Second, use it every day, even just a little. If you can say one sentence every day. If you can understand a short audio, listen to one every day. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to use what you already have, because when you use it, you improve it. Third, track your small wins. This step is very important. At the end of the day, take a moment and ask yourself, what did I do today? Maybe you spoke one sentence. Maybe you learned 5 new words. Maybe you tried something you were afraid of. Write it down. When you see your progress, even small progress, your mind starts to change. You start to believe, I am moving forward. Fourth, stop comparing yourself with others. This is one of the fastest ways to lose trust in yourself. There will always be someone better, faster, more confident. But that is their journey, not yours. You only need to be a little better than yesterday. That is enough. Let me give you a simple image. Imagine your potential is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it feels weak. You think, maybe I'm not strong. But the truth is, it's not weak, it's just unused. And when you start using it, even a little, it becomes stronger. Not in one day, but slowly, step by step. The same thing happens when you start taking action. At first, it feels uncomfortable. You may feel unsure. You may make mistakes. But every time you try, you are telling yourself, I can do this. And that message becomes stronger over time. And something beautiful will happen. You will start to see progress. Small at first, but real. You will feel a little more confident, a little more open, a little more in control of your life. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer standing still. You are moving. That's what trusting your potential really means. It doesn't mean you believe you are already great. It means you believe you can grow. It means you are willing to try, even when you are not sure. So today, don't wait until you feel confident. Don't wait until you feel ready. Just start with one small action. Speak one sentence. Listen for 10 minutes. Write a few lines. That's enough. Because your potential is not something you find by thinking. It's something you discover by doing. Before we end, I want to ask you one simple question. What is one small thing you can do today to give yourself a chance to grow? Thank you so much for being here and spending this time with me. It really means a lot. If something in this episode stayed with you, you can always come back and listen again whenever you need it. Take it slow. Trust yourself a little more each day, and I'll be right here with you in the next episode. Today, we will talk about a very important idea: trust your life timing. Let me tell you a short story. There was a man who felt like he wasted many years of his life. While his friends were building stable careers, he kept changing directions. He tried different jobs, learned different skills, and often felt confused about where his life was going. At the age of 35, he looked at his life and felt discouraged. He believed he was behind everyone else. He thought he was too late. But something interesting happened in the years that followed. All the things he had learned before slowly started to connect. His experience in design helped him think creatively. His time working with people helped him understand human behavior. And the difficult years taught him patience and resilience. Step by step, his past stopped looking like a mistake. Instead, it became a foundation. Years later, those different experiences became the exact combination he needed to build something meaningful. From the outside, people saw his success and thought it happened quickly. But in reality, every step of his journey had quietly prepared him for that moment. What once looked like wasted time was actually preparation. This is something many people only understand much later in life. Sometimes, the path that feels slow is actually the path that builds the strongest foundation. The problem begins when we start comparing our timeline with someone else's timeline. When we look at other people, we often think they are ahead and we are behind. But this is only an illusion. The truth is much simpler. You are not behind. You are just on a different path. Imagine two people climbing two different mountains. One mountain is shorter and easier. The other is higher and more difficult. If you look at them in the middle of the journey, it may seem like one person is faster. But they are not climbing the same mountain. Your life works the same way. You are walking a path that is unique to you. And that is why comparing your progress with others will only make you feel lost. Instead of comparing, there is something much more powerful you can do. Focus on the next small step. Not the whole journey. Not the final destination. Just the next step. One small improvement today. One lesson learned from a mistake. One quiet moment of courage. These small actions may seem simple, but over time, they create real change. Big results are often built from many small steps that no one notices. Think about the bamboo tree. For several years, a bamboo seed shows almost no visible growth above the ground. It looks like nothing is happening. If you look at it every day, you may feel disappointed. You may think it will never grow. But beneath the surface, something important is happening. The roots are growing deeper and stronger. And then one day, something incredible happens. The bamboo suddenly grows very fast, sometimes several feet in just a few weeks. To someone who only sees the final result, it looks like sudden success. But the truth is that the growth was happening all along. It was just invisible. Your life is often like that. There are seasons when you feel stuck. Times when you feel lost. Moments when nothing seems to change. But these moments are not wasted. They are building your foundation. They are growing your patience, your resilience, and your understanding. Even when you cannot see progress, something inside you is still growing. Another common mistake is looking too much for answers outside yourself. The world is full of advice. People tell you what you should do, what career you should choose, how fast you should succeed, and what kind of life you should live. But too many voices can create confusion. Because the most important guidance does not come from outside, it comes from within. Your inner voice is often quiet, but it is wise. It knows when something feels right. It knows when something feels forced. Learning to listen to this inner voice is one of the most important skills in life. Instead of asking, "What do others expect from me?" you can ask a different question. What feels meaningful to me right now? When you start asking this question, something begins to change. You stop rushing. You stop comparing. And slowly, you begin to trust your own path. Life has a very interesting way of connecting things. The right opportunities often appear when you are ready for them. The right people enter your life at the right time. The right lessons come exactly when you need them. From the outside, this may look like luck. But often, luck comes to people who keep showing up. It comes to those who continue learning, who continue trying, and who continue moving forward even when progress feels slow. In many ways, luck follows effort. So instead of worrying about when everything will finally work out, you can focus on something much simpler. Be present in your journey. Take the next step. Learn the next lesson. Grow a little more today than yesterday. These small actions may not feel exciting, but they are powerful. They are shaping your future in ways you cannot yet see. One day, when you look back at your life, you may realize something surprising. The delays you once feared were actually helping you. The struggles you once wanted to avoid were shaping you. And the timing you once doubted was guiding you exactly where you needed to be. Nothing was random. Everything had a purpose, even if you did not understand it at the time. So if you ever feel lost, or if you feel like your life is moving too slowly, take a deep breath. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not doing life wrong. You are simply living your own journey. And your journey has its own timing. There are people who succeed very early in life but face difficulties later. There are people who start late but build something strong and lasting. There are people who find love early but lose it. And others who find love later and keep it for a lifetime. Every story is different. And that is what makes life meaningful. You do not need to rush your story. You do not need to follow someone else's timeline. You only need to trust your own path and continue moving forward, one step at a time. Because your life is unfolding in its own way. So trust your life timing. Trust your journey, and keep going. If you enjoy this kind of slow and meaningful English, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Glow and Grow channel. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next lesson. In this video, I want to talk about something that many people need to hear. Trust your journey. Sometimes life does not look clear. Sometimes you feel lost. Sometimes you look at your progress and think, "Am I really going anywhere?" You may feel like other people are moving faster than you. You may feel like your dream is still too far away. You may even feel afraid to keep going. But this is exactly when trust becomes important. Because not every good thing in life appears quickly. Not every beautiful journey is easy at the beginning. And not every step makes sense right away. Many people stop too early. Not because they are weak, but because they are afraid. They are afraid of failure, afraid of rejection, afraid of wasting time, afraid that things may not work out. Fear can be very powerful. It can make you stay in the same place for a long time. It can make you choose safety over growth. It can make you doubt your own path before it even has the chance to open. But here is something important to remember. Fear does not always mean you are on the wrong path. Sometimes fear appears because you are standing in front of something new, something meaningful, and something bigger than your old life. Fear often comes when you are about to grow. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine a person who wants to speak English better. They want to share their ideas. They want to speak with confidence. They want to feel free when they use the language. But every time they try, they feel nervous. They are afraid of making mistakes. They are afraid that other people may laugh. They are afraid they are not good enough. So they stay quiet. They wait. They tell themselves, maybe later. Maybe when I am better. Maybe when I am more ready. But weeks pass. Months pass. And nothing changes. Not because the dream is impossible, but because fear keeps standing at the door. Now imagine that same person chooses a different way. They still feel afraid, but they decide to speak a little anyway. They practice one small sentence, then another, then another. Slowly, they improve. Slowly, their confidence grows. And one day, they realize something beautiful. The fear was not the end of the story. It was just the beginning of a new chapter. Life can be like that too. Sometimes the life you want is waiting on the other side of fear. The dream you want may ask you to be brave first. It may ask you to keep walking before you can see the whole road. And yes, that is hard. We all want clear signs. We all want to know that our effort will lead somewhere good. But life does not always work that way. Sometimes it only gives you the next step. Not the whole map. Just the next step. And that can be enough. You do not need to know everything about your future. You only need enough courage to keep moving. Because life may be holding bigger rewards for you than you can see today. New chances, new strength, new joy. Maybe even a life more beautiful than the one you can imagine now. So be careful not to let fear choose everything for you. Fear usually shows you what could go wrong. But trust helps you remember what could go right. Fear says, stay where you are. Trust says, keep going. There may be something beautiful ahead. Fear says, what if you fail? Trust says, what if this journey changes your life in a good way? And many times, the greatest reward is not only reaching the dream. The greatest reward is also who you become while moving toward it. You become stronger, calmer, wiser, more honest with yourself, more able to handle life, more able to believe in your own strength. That is why every step matters, even the small ones. Maybe right now your journey feels slow. Maybe your dream still feels far away. Maybe you are tired. Maybe you are afraid. But that does not mean you should stop believing. A slow journey can still be a beautiful journey. A difficult season can still lead to a meaningful future. What matters is that you do not let fear become the voice that controls your whole life. Instead, learn to walk with courage, even if your courage is quiet. Courage does not always look big and dramatic. Sometimes, courage is very small. It is sending the message, starting the class, speaking the truth, trying again, resting, then beginning once more, trusting your path one more day. That is courage too. So if you are feeling uncertain right now, please remember this. You do not have to know everything. You do not have to feel ready all the time. And you do not have to remove all fear before you begin. You only need to keep moving with faith in your heart. Trust that your life is still unfolding. Trust that your effort matters. Trust that not all good things can be seen at the beginning. Trust that the road in front of you may hold more beauty, meaning, and reward than you can imagine today. And most of all, trust yourself. Trust the person you are becoming. Trust the lessons you are learning. Trust the dream that keeps calling you forward. Because when you stop letting fear lead your life, you make space for something better. You make space for growth. You make space for hope. You make space for the beautiful journey that is still waiting for you. If you are building your life, your skills, and your future, you are exactly where you need to be. Now, take a deep breath. Slow down, and let's begin. Today, I want to tell you something very honest. The path to success is not clean, not pretty, and not something you can always show on Instagram. Many people think success looks organized, peaceful, and perfect. But in reality, it often looks messy, confusing, and even lonely. When people are building something great, their life can feel out of control. They may not have balance. They may not feel ready. They may even doubt themselves. But they keep going. And that is what makes the difference. So if your life feels messy right now, it does not mean you are failing. It may mean you are building. Instead of trying to look perfect, focus on what really matters. There are 3 simple things you need to focus on: working, learning, and serving. It sounds simple, but if you repeat these 3 things every day, they can completely change your life. Let's start with the first one, working. You need to take action. Not just thinking, not just planning, not just dreaming. Action. Many people stay in their head. They think too much. They wait for the perfect moment. But the perfect moment never comes. You don't need to be ready. You just need to start. Start small. Start imperfect. Do it even if you feel unsure. Because action creates clarity. When you start doing something, you begin to understand what works and what doesn't. If you wait until everything is perfect, you will never begin. Now the second one, learning. You must become a lifelong learner. The world is always changing. If you stop learning, you stop growing. But learning does not mean just watching videos or reading books. Real learning means understanding and applying. Try to keep a beginner's mindset. This means you stay open, curious, and ready to learn new things. Even if you already know something, ask yourself, What else can I learn here? This mindset helps you grow faster than most people. Also, remember this: learning is earning. The more you learn, the more value you can create. And the more value you create, the more opportunities come to you. Now, the third one, serving. This is something many people forget. Success is not only about you. It is also about what you give to others. Use your skills, your knowledge, and your energy to help people. You don't need to do something big. You can start small. Share your ideas. Help someone understand something. Create content that makes people feel better or think differently. When you focus on serving, you build real value. And real value always comes back to you in some way. So remember this simple loop: work, learn, serve. Work, learn, serve. Repeat it every day. This simple process creates momentum. And momentum is very powerful. When you have momentum, things start to feel easier. You feel more confident. You see progress. Now let's talk about something else very important. The people you learn from, the people you follow, the people you spend time with, they have a strong impact on your life. If you spend time with people who think small, you will think small. If you listen to people who complain, you will complain. But if you learn from people who grow, you will grow. So, how do you choose the right people to learn from? There are two simple things to look for. First, they have the results you want. This is very important. If you want to learn about business, learn from someone who has built a real business. If you want to learn about health, learn from someone who is healthy. Results matter. It may sound obvious, but many people ignore this. They listen to advice from people who do not have real experience. And this can slow them down. Second, they match your values and your style. You don't need to copy someone completely. You need to feel comfortable with their way of thinking. When you listen to them, you should feel inspired, not stressed. You should feel more like yourself, not less. Because success is not only about results. It is also about how you feel while building your life. The right mentor does not only teach you how to succeed, they help you become a better version of yourself. And here is something important to remember. You don't need to meet these people in real life. Today, you can learn from books, podcasts, videos, and online content. You can build your own circle of mentors. So be careful with what you watch, what you read, and who you listen to, because it shapes your mind. Now, let's bring everything together in a simple way you can follow every day. Wake up and ask yourself, what can I do today? Do one small action. That is your work. Learn one small idea. That is your learning. Help one person, even in a small way. That is your service. It does not need to be big. It just needs to be consistent. Some days will feel slow. Some days will feel hard. You may feel like nothing is changing. But trust the process. Because one day, everything will connect, and you will realize that all those small, messy, imperfect days were building something strong. So don't wait for your life to look perfect. Don't wait for everything to be ready. Start now. Stay simple. Stay consistent. Work, learn, serve, and repeat. Thank you for being here. If you want to go a little deeper, check the comments below. I've prepared some practice materials to help you use what you just learned. Take your time, practice slowly, and keep moving forward. You are already on the right path. Right now, it's early morning where I am. The air feels fresh. My mind is clear. And I feel calm. And you know why? Because last night, I had a really good sleep. Not just sleep, but deep, quiet, and enough. And I can feel the difference. It's easier to think, easier to speak. And I feel more like myself again. So let me ask you something simple. When was the last time you woke up feeling clear, calm, and ready for the day? If you're like many people, it doesn't happen very often. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Sleep. Not in a complicated way, but in a real and honest way. Because sleep is not just rest, it's the foundation of your life. There's a simple quote I want you to remember. A person who has health has hope, and a person who has hope has everything. And sleep is one of the most important parts of your health. Let me share something honestly with you. There was a time when I didn't respect sleep. I thought sleeping less meant I was working harder. I stayed up late to study, to learn, to try to improve myself. I told myself, it's okay, I can sleep later. This is more important. At that time, I felt like I was being productive. I was spending many hours learning, but slowly, something started to change. My mind became tired. I couldn't focus well. I read something, but I didn't really understand it. I listened, but I forgot quickly. My thoughts were slow. And sometimes I just felt confused for no clear reason. And the strange thing was, I was trying harder than before. I was spending more time, more effort, but the results were worse. I remember sitting at my desk late at night, looking at my work, and feeling stuck. I wanted to do better, but my brain just didn't work the way I wanted. It felt like I was moving, but going nowhere. That's when I realized something very simple. I was not lacking effort. I was lacking energy. And that energy comes from sleep. Sleep is not a waste of time. Sleep is the time your brain works in a different way. During the day, you learn. At night, your brain organizes what you learned. It keeps what is important and lets go of what is not. If you don't sleep enough, it's like trying to study with a full bag that you never clean. Everything becomes messy. You keep adding more, but nothing is clear. Think about it like this. Your brain is like a phone. During the day, you use it all the time. Many apps are open. Many things are happening. If you never charge it, the battery will go down. And when the battery is low, nothing works well. Sleep is your charger. Not just a small charge, but a full recharge. Without it, your system slows down. And this is why sleep is so important. It helps your memory. It helps your focus. It helps your mood. When you sleep well, you feel clearer, calmer, and stronger. When you don't, everything feels harder. Now let's talk about something many people ask. Is sleeping the same as meditation? Or is sleep even better? The answer is simple. They are not the same. Meditation helps you calm your mind while you are awake. It helps you relax, reduce stress, and feel more present. That's very good. But sleep is different. Sleep is when your body and your brain go into a special state to repair and reset. It's deeper. And it does things that meditation cannot replace. You can meditate to feel better, but if you are very tired, what you really need is sleep. So don't choose between them. Use both. Sleep to recover, meditate to stay calm. Now here is the important question. If sleep is so important, why do we ignore it? Because it feels easy to give up. We think one more hour of work is better, one more video, one more lesson, one more task. We think we are moving forward. But without sleep, that forward becomes very slow. So what can you do? Starting today, let's keep it very simple. First, try to sleep at the same time every night. Your body likes routine. When you sleep at a regular time, your sleep becomes deeper and better. Second, give yourself at least 7 hours of sleep if you can. Not perfect, but a good goal. Third, before sleep, try to slow down. Don't use your phone too much. Don't think too much. Let your mind relax. And finally, change the way you think about sleep. Don't see it as something you lose. See it as something you invest. Because when you sleep well, you think better, learn faster, and live better. Let me say this again, because it's very important. A person who has health has hope, and a person who has hope has everything. If your body is tired, your mind will feel heavy. And when your mind is heavy, it's hard to feel hopeful. But when you are well rested, something changes. You feel lighter. You feel clearer. You feel like you can try again. Sleep gives you that chance. Every single day. So tonight, don't try to do everything. Don't try to push too hard. Just give yourself enough rest. That is already a powerful step. Before we end, I want to ask you one simple question. What time will you go to sleep tonight? Thank you so much for being here and spending this time with me. I truly appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Take care of yourself, rest well, and I'll see you in the next episode.